So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here.
What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor Podcast live stream. And today we're going to be talking about how to launch a product online successfully. You know, it's one thing to get something out there into the market, but it's another thing to bring it to the market successfully. And so recently I've been working with one of our Branding on Demand clients who is launching a new meal kit company. Some of you guys might have seen some of the work that we've done for California Grill Meals. And what an awesome experience working with these guys, because I'm getting sort of my hands dirty here with some of the marketing strategy and the brand strategy behind this massive opportunity that this individual has. He has a couple of brick and mortar stores. And then when COVID hit, he said, I need to get out there and hit this digital platform really quick and compete with the Blue Aprons and the Hello Freshes and all of those, because he's got a great concept. So I've been helping him over the past 6 months. We did a full rebrand of the brand. We did a full brand strategy. And now we're getting into this, the continuity of the marketing. Now, I don't run his ads. I don't do any of that. I'm more behind the scenes talking with him, and then he goes to the marketing team that is running all the ads and shares those insights that he has with me. So before we dive into all of this, guys, I just want to remind you, if you guys are stuck when it comes to positioning your brand online, book a one-on-one brand assessment with me today, and let's get to the bottom of what's holding you back, and let's figure out what needs to be done to get you where you want to be with your consulting business or small business, whatever it may be. All right. So you could do that. The link is in the description below, and we'll get this rocking. So we got my man Owais in the house once again. How are you, my friend?
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone.
It's one of those days, right? I literally, we started at 6 and here it is 2 o'clock late, and it feels like 20 minutes went by.
Man.
I know. So I want to give the background of this whole scenario to kind of lay out the importance of how to launch a product online successfully. So let me take you to the beginning. So my client and I were sitting around thinking of some offers to put out there, some irresistible offers to put out there to catch people's attention, specifically his ideal audience, obviously. And one of the offers that he came up with was free meals for a year. So to give you some background on this company, it is a meal kit company. So it's set up very similar to HelloFresh, Blue Apron. If you ever tried those meal kit companies in the past, the great thing about CG Meals is they don't lock you into any sort of subscription, because it's a real pain in the ass, I heard, to get out of those subscriptions once you sign up for them. So he makes it really easy for you to get in and out of his program, which is a huge plus. I've tried a lot of these meal kits, and I have just never been 100% satisfied in the quality of the food. It always tastes like plastic, or it just didn't taste well. Like, I didn't enjoy the meal. But since working with CG Meals, I've been ordering quite a bit of meals because we've upgraded all of his packaging. So I want to see what it looks like in real life. So I would order some meals and see the new packaging that we designed, which is a hell of a lot better than the freaking brown cardboard box that he was sending things in prior to us working on that stuff. I got to tell you, his approach is a little different than these other companies. These other companies, it takes 20, 30, sometimes 40 minutes to an hour to prep these meals and cook them. His meals, 7 minutes.
Wow.
7 minutes. So basically what you do is all of the meals come in sealed plastic, and you put the plastic bag in boiling hot water. I guess they call it sous vide. Sous vide is the name.
Oh, sous vide, yeah.
Right? And the hot water cooks the food in 7 minutes. And all you have to do is plate it. Oase, when I tell you, the quality of this food is outstanding. It's not even like, it doesn't taste like plastic. It doesn't taste like a microwaved meal. It has so much flavor and texture to the food. And I'm a food guy. You guys know, like, I love my food. You go look at my Instagram on the weekends and you'll know right away. I'm blown away by the quality of this food. Now, some of you guys may be saying, oh, you got to say this. He's your client and this and that. Listen, when he had issues with the food, I told him. I did. There was one meal I got. It wasn't that great. And I told him what it tastes like. And he corrected it very, very quickly. And then I got it again. It was fantastic. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, guys. cgmeals.com. The food is just fantastic. And it takes 7 minutes to make these meals. So I know that the meals are great. The founder of the company, my client, knows that the meals are great. So he assumes everybody in the world thinks that his food is great. So he comes out with this killer offer. Sign up to win a year's worth of free meal kits delivered to your door. We think that this is the best offer ever. It's strong. It's aggressive. Nobody's doing it. Let's run it. Let's get it out there. So he creates a couple ads. He runs them by me. I looked at the copy. The copy was pretty strong. His ads team gets it out there on Facebook. Week 1 goes by. Crickets. Week 2 goes by. Even more crickets. And we're like, this is so powerful. This is such a strong offer. How can anybody not sign up for a year's worth of free food? What's going on? So he kills the ads. He calls me up. Henry, we got to get on a strategy call. All right, let's go. Jumps on a strategy call with me. And I asked him, what do you think went wrong with this offer? He goes, I don't know, dude. That's why I'm calling. That's why I got to get on a call with you. And I said, did you ever think to say to yourself, why would anybody sign up for this contest if they don't know how good the food even is first? It's one of those palm to forehead slap moments.
It's a good point. Good point.
I said, nobody's signing up for the damn offer because nobody knows how good it is. Nobody knows the taste of the food. So it's like, I'm trying to come up with a good analogy. It's like having somebody, you signing up for a free vacation to an undisclosed location, right? Think about it. Win a free trip to this place I'm not going to tell you about.
Firefest.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. So I said, what other offer do you think would make more logical sense? And he said, well, let me think about that for a second. I said, don't think too hard. What other offer do you think would make more sense now that you realize this? He said, just getting a free sample into their homes. One simple free sample. I said, bingo. Bingo. That's all you have to do. So the new offer that got launched was the first meal is on us. All you have to do is pay for shipping. I think it was like $8. Right? So you put in this coupon code. You could pick anything on his menu. So he's got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You put in this code. It wipes out the fee, and you're only charged for the shipping, which is I think $8 or something like that. And they'll ship you one meal. Right? And now you have an opportunity to taste that meal. Now, the cool thing about it is once that meal arrives, there's the next call to action. If you like this meal, here's a coupon code for $25 or $30 off your next order. And boom. Now you got them in. Now they've sampled the product. Now they know that the quality of the food is good. Now I want a year's free worth of food from you guys. Now I'll subscribe to the contest. So that was a huge eye-opener and a huge win for him, because now he's not going to waste his time, money, and energy on this offer that sounds and feels aggressive and sounds like a no-brainer, and work on something that's a little bit more effective, a little bit more strategic. So I see Vision Board Music here live with us today going, that was a great idea. We all know, we all could afford 365 days of free food. Yeah. And it's not a good value if it tastes like cardboard. Exactly. It's important for us to realize that. So what makes an offer successful? Common sense. Thinking about the customer's journey logically. Yeah. That's one.
Yeah. Put them in the center. They're the ones that are going to buy from you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, again, this sounds so cliche, but put yourself in the shoes of a customer. Yeah. Are they going to sign up? Are you going to sign up for a year's worth of free food if you don't know how good the free food is?
Exactly. Or any offering for that matter.
Yeah.
We were talking about the green room right before this, and I was telling you, hey, look, I mean, it's a product or a service. Someone's signing up for your service and they don't know how it is. Why would they commit to either an extremely large thousands of dollars of engagement or 1 year's worth of commitment if they don't know how it is?
Yeah. And then we talked about this also before we started today's show. It just goes to show like how important content marketing is, how important it is to do podcasts and live streams and put out content up on social that demonstrates how you help people. Like that's your sample work right there. That's your version of giving out a little taste of how you could potentially help somebody. All right, we got another comment here. It says, we forget that people don't know our experience yet. So what I'm hearing you say is that I should offer a 30-minute discovery to lead into a character development day. Perhaps that's one way, but everybody does discovery calls, 30-minute discovery calls now. So how's your discovery call going to be different? How are you going to land more discovery calls than another competitor?
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to compel me to enter into a discovery call with you and take time away from whatever I'm doing in my business. So you got to think about that.
Exactly. How many discovery calls that I was left high and dry with when I would offer this and nobody would show up, especially when they booked on a on a Friday afternoon in the summertime, and then they didn't show up. You know how pissed I was?
So how did you resolve that?
I started charging for it. I started charging for it. That's how the brand assessment was born. But prior to that, what I realized was if people don't have skin in the game, it's no loss.
Yeah. You value what you invest.
It's it. So Michelle here asks, is there a better term for discovery call? I'm going to say yes is my short answer. What else to call it? I don't know. That's something where you need to brand. That's something that you need to brand. You need to come up with. You need to create. Right? And I think what's happening here is, that's true. I'll do a raffle for a live hot seat. I think what's missing here is we have to go back a step and have a place where people could actually understand your value to the world and how you actually are serving them. So I'm not going to sign up for a hot seat if I don't know how you've helped other people in the past, because that just might be a waste of my time.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really want to hammer home today is make people realize, like, how are you sampling your expertise to your audience?
That's a good, I think that's a good point, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of questions here that we have on the back burner here that I just want to address before we wrap up. We have to understand a couple of things. Remembering why people are signing up for this thing in the first place is very, very important. But we have to understand the sequence of it all. You can't put the cart before the horse. And you have to realize that. I was telling Oase a funny story. When I was designing for restaurants, we're going back 10 years now, easy, 10, 11 years. I had this one account. It was an upscale restaurant. And they were doing this really nice Thanksgiving special. I think it was like $60 a head or something like that. And you got a big turkey and you got all these sides, and it was a beautiful spread, right? So I was in charge of designing the ad, if you will. And I'm a pup. I'm a pup in the design world at the time, right? I'm just getting the swing of things, right? So I designed this ad, and it's got this beautiful Thanksgiving background. There's like cornucopias and pumpkins. I think there was this big pumpkin in the image, and I had this beautiful font and have Thanksgiving dinner with us and da-da-da-da, right? And I go to show the owner the ad, and he looks me dead in the face. Now, he's an old timer. He knows nothing about marketing. He's 60 something years old. Like, all he knows how to do is make money through his restaurant, right? He says, man, that's an expensive pumpkin. Because there was a big pumpkin in the image. He says, it looks like we're selling the pumpkin for $60 a head. Henry, where's the turkey in the image? And I just could have crawled under the table when he said that to me. Because I go, how freaking blatant obvious is that? And so I came back with another design, beautiful turkey, all cooked and like beautiful set, like table setting and this and that in the ad. And he fell over. He was like, this is what I'm talking about. Perfect example of common sense or the obvious, right? And so I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that as long as I live. So that's one. Yeah, don't forget to consider the obvious. And then what's the gain? What's their gain? What are they going to get out of joining? Right? That's something like, so Michelle, if you want to do a hot seat, great. What are they going to get out of the hot seat? and who's gone through that hot seat before, and what did they get out of it? Like that's another big thing. So I think she's getting the hang of it now. So she says, okay, I see. Of course, that's why I'm here. I'm here to hear from the expert. I have a ton of content. Yeah. So leveraging that content as the sample work is going to be huge. Like you're going to see me we're working on 2 rebrand projects right now. One's a little bit further ahead than the other. With the client's consent, I am going to be showcasing some of the early design concepts that were coming up for not only his personal brand, but for his business brand. We're actually doing it in tandem. We're designing his personal brand and business rebrand, I should say, at the same time. So we're going through the Stylescape process right now and laying out different design concepts. And I want to share with you guys some of that stuff that we're creating so you can see where it started, like where the baseline was and what is to become the final brand identity system. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with you. Again, this is sampling my work. Every Thursday on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook, I do a design showcase. And I have my team create a carousel, 8 to 10 images in a row. And I'll have them do a design showcase of a brand that we've designed in the past. And I've been consistent with that for months. And it dawned on me last week. This is where I'm going to pull my pants down and throw myself under the bus. It dawned on me last week. I was doing a lot. I've been doing that consistently on Facebook for 4 months now. Here and there on LinkedIn, sporadically, but never on Facebook. And I used to put a lot of my work on Facebook. I'm going to start putting it back up on Facebook because even if people are passing by my account and they run into, oh, Design Showcase Thursday. Oh, let me see what Henry's working on, or let me see what Henry did in the past. And they're blown away by the work. There's another hook. There's another sample. Boom. Right? So that's what I want you guys to capture from today's episode is do not underestimate the obvious and keep in mind the customer's journey. And lastly, how are you sampling your work out to the people that could be potential clients? April Tobin says, yeah, I pass by quite a bit on your page. I would love to see more on Facebook. Yeah. And I will absolutely, there goes to show how important it is to get those samples out there. Yeah. Been listening quietly. Yeah. I come around that a lot. I'll get people signing up for assessments that says, listen, I've been following you for 2 years. And I just been laying quietly in behind the scenes, and now it's time, and boom, they become a client. And that's why I was telling you always before we started, that's why it's so important to keep the consistency of your presence and the consistency of how you're demonstrating your value and your expertise to the world, because you never know what you're going to say that day. It's going to trigger somebody to say, all right, enough's enough. Let's get this done.
Exactly. I have a story around that. And I mean, again, I struggle with the consistency, but there is a client a prospect right now, but that has been reaching out to me for about 3-4 times. He's reached out to me. We're supposed to talk today. And he has declined in the past to work because of my prices. And this is about 4 or 5 years ago. And something is triggering now. I can sense that there's some sort of a pain point that's triggering. But all that to say is that, a lot of the stuff that I've been publishing is connecting. And it's hitting that pain point for a lot of business owners right now. There's a lot of people that you don't know that they're listening in, that they will never hit the like button. They will never comment. And they're just watching and listening and interacting with your post from the background. You can't track it.
That's right.
And sooner or later, they'll reach out to you.
Yeah. And then when that, if you do lives or if you post and, it doesn't get much traction right away, as long as you don't delete it, it'll be there forever.
Yeah.
So you never know who's going to bump into that and when. And, it's like dropping little turds. I hate to say that, but like, it's like dropping little turds behind you and letting them stink. Because I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where I'm going.
Breadcrumbs. It's only a turd if it's shit content. All right, excuse me.
Correct. All right, breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs, way better.
Nuggets.
Way better.
Golden nuggets.
There we go. Hey, see, always thank God you're here. Otherwise, I would have ran with the whole turd thing, and half the people would have turned it off.
What's that going to do to your brand perception if you're going to call it turd? Talking about launching a good product online, right?
Oh, that's why I love doing this show, man. One, I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth half the time, but two, making sure that you're here to polish me up sometime.
Got your back, man.
Oh my God, forget it. All right, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. I think you guys get the point today, and if you don't, go back and re-listen to this because I've summed up the points a couple of times already, but make sure that you're really understanding your customer's journey. Make sure that you're sampling your work or coming up with creative ways to sample your work so people have something to understand. People have something to say, yeah, that's what I want. Or, wow, they're really good at what they do. Like, it's amazing. I want them to do that for my house. I want them to do that for my business. It only takes one post, one video, one blog, one podcast for somebody to say, I'm going with them, because they've clearly articulated the value that they bring to the world. So awesome. Awesome stuff. And we're actually under 30 minutes, which I'm kind of excited about. I want to keep these a little quieter, a little shorter, I should say, quieter. That'll never happen. So let us know. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this right now, what your biggest takeaway was of today's conversation. If you're listening, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you leave a review. Make sure if you haven't done that yet, I highly would, I deeply appreciate those reviews on YouTube and iTunes and Spotify. And if you take a screenshot of this podcast and throw it up on your Instagram and tag at the brand ER in your stories, I will be sure to repost it and give you a huge shout out and some love for that. So, yeah, catch you on the next episode next week. Talk to you soon, guys. Take care. That's